Based on the case against hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs, we are learning tonight that additional charges could soon
Combs
be
allegedly drug. What is wrong with this guy? 10-year-old boy in a Manhattan hotel room in 2005, which Combs telling aspiring musician, you have to do some stuff you don't want to do sometimes after the boy.
What the federal government sometimes does when they're continuing their investigation is they'll do a subsequent indictment which is a superseding indictment. It usually amends and replaces the original.
Y'all, you won't believe what's happening in Diddy's world right now. It's absolutely crashing down around him like a house of cards. These lawsuits, they're not just coming, they're flooding in like a tsunami, piling up faster than anyone can even count. And here's the tea. He's stuck behind bars with no bail. Even his mountains of money can't get him out of this scorching hot mess. But wait, honey, that's not even the juiciest part. His own people, yes, his own people, are turning their backs on him. First, his longtime publicist started dropping hints about having some major dirt to spill, and we are here for it. And now, you won't believe this, his attorney literally walked out of the courtroom. His reputation completely destroyed. And with all these secrets bubbling to the surface like a witch's cauldron, trust me, this drama is just getting started. Everyone in the streets is watching, and we're all dying to know what other shocking revelations are about to come out. Sean Diddy Combs isn't just fighting for his freedom anymore, sweeties. He's pulling out all the stops to get out of jail before his trial even begins. This hip-hop mogul facing those absolutely scandalous trafficking and racketeering charges is making his third desperate attempt at bail after getting shut down twice. And get this, he's bringing in the big guns now, adding two absolute powerhouses to his defense team, Anthony Rico and Alexander Shapiro, joining forces with his already seasoned attorney, Mark Agnifilo. An insider, and honey, they're close to the situation, spilled that Diddy is actually feeling hopeful. Can you believe it? They just filed this notice of appeal in the Second Circuit about Mr. Combs' detention. But don't get too excited. It's just a standard notice, and the real tea will come when they file the actual appeal brief. Let me tell you about this dream team he's building. It's insane. Tony Rico, one of the finest trial lawyers in the country, and Alexander Shapiro. Darling, she's absolutely the best appellate lawyer out there right now. She's represented everyone from Wall Street bigwigs to major public officials and companies. Talk about pulling out all the stops. But here's where it gets really interesting. Diddy's lawyers filed this appeal notice in the Second Circuit Court, trying to sweet-talk the judge with these unprecedented bail conditions. We're talking $50 million in collateral, absolutely no female visitors, I mean, can you even? Weekly substance testing, and strict visitor logs. But honey, it's an uphill battle. Judge Carter wasn't buying it before, and prosecutors are saying Diddy's alleged intimidation tactics and those disturbing charges make him a major flight risk. The judge literally told him and his team, "I don't believe that counsel has the ability to control you." She was particularly concerned about substance and what she called anger issues. And let me tell you, she did not mince words when she said the danger was quite serious if they let him out. She basically shut down their whole bond package, saying it wouldn't guarantee his return to court or keep the community safe, not to mention the whole witness tampering situation.
The underdog in this bail argument, and that's because of the crime of actually creates a presumption that the defendant should be.
Oh, darlings, the government is spilling all the tea about his witness tampering habits, and the details that keep coming out are absolutely shocking. Can you believe they seized over 1,000 bottles of lubricant in those raids? And then there's these videos of violent altercations, plus these alleged days-long off parties where they're saying substance abuse and coercion were used to control victims. And get this, Costco actually jumped into the drama. They straight up denied they sell baby oil in bulk after Diddy's lawyer tried to play it off as just regular household supplies. I mean, really? With former allies and victims speaking out left and right, and his legal team pulling every trick from their designer sleeves, Diddy's desperate bid for freedom is just getting started. The real question on everyone's minds, will this powerhouse defense team make any difference? Or has the court already made up its mind? Mark Agnifilo, one of Combs' lawyers, is out here vowing to appeal the decision. He literally said outside the courthouse on September 18th, "I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible." He's also talking about trying to minimize the time Diddy spends in what he calls very, very difficult and inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility.
He's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anyone.
Honey, it's crystal clear that this legal team is at their absolute wits' end right now. The walls are closing in on Diddy faster than a designer sale at Saks, and there is literally nothing he can do about it. And it gets worse. The evidence against Sean Combs just keeps piling up like dirty laundry. In this absolutely explosive letter to the judge, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams is pushing hard to keep Diddy locked up until trial, and the tea they're spilling, it's scalding. We're talking about a mountain of incriminating evidence collected over months. The prosecutors say they've got dozens of witnesses and victims all testifying about Diddy's alleged pattern of and that's just the beginning. Just wait until you hear this. Investigators reportedly seized over 90 devices. We're talking cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, plus 30-plus hard drives, all connected to Diddy and his inner circle. With over 300 grand jury subpoenas issued to tech companies, social media platforms, banks, and even Diddy's own businesses, they are leaving no stone unturned. And the videos? Oh my God. Prosecutors say they've uncovered dozens of recordings showing these notorious offs. And honey, these weren't just your regular wild parties. They're saying this footage backs up claims about these days-long, substance-fueled gatherings where Diddy allegedly coerced adult workers and unwilling participants, using substances and intimidation to keep control. Things just keep looking worse for Sean Diddy Combs. The stakes couldn't be higher, yet somehow his defense team seems to be digging him into an even deeper hole. With charges like racketeering, trafficking, and coercion hanging over his head like a dark cloud, his legal team is desperately trying to sway public opinion. But get this, Mark Agnifilo, his attorney, just revealed what he thinks is the roughest part of prison life for Diddy. The food, yes, you heard that right. He's struggling with the food because apparently Diddy just can't handle eating garbage food. His co-counsel Anthony R. added that while Diddy's adjusting, nobody would be okay with staying in jail.
Diddy hungry? Sean Combs apparently refusing jail food. Some say he's missing his private.
Let me tell you, sweeties, this defense strategy isn't exactly winning any sympathy points. Instead of addressing these serious accusations or discussing actual evidence in Diddy's favor, his lawyers are focusing on complaints about the jail menu? I mean, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, inmates do have choices: regular, heart-healthy, and no-flesh meals. Plus, they can buy extra food like protein bars, cashews, and honey buns from the commissary. But Agnifilo seems to think that poor food quality might make the public forget about the charges. But with over 100 women coming forward with accusations and all this disturbing evidence piling up, this food defense is just, well, honey, it's not it. And now, in a new lawsuit, he's facing absolutely horrifying accusations of having trapped and abused a 10-year-old boy back in the mid-2000s. The civil complaint filed by a John Doe with high-profile attorney Tony Busby alleges that this poor young aspiring performer was set up by an industry consultant to meet with Combs, who promised him the world in a New York hotel room. Instead, the boy claims he was horrifically betrayed, with Diddy using his power to take advantage of the child's dreams. And that's not even all. Another lawsuit just dropped from a second anonymous man claiming Diddy and his bodyguard at 17 while he was auditioning for Making the Band.
What is wrong with this guy? 10-year-old boy in a Manhattan hotel room in 2005, which Combs telling aspiring musician, you have to do some stuff you don't want to do sometimes after the boy.
The word on the street is that Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, is packing his bags and ready to leave Diddy high and dry. And can you blame him? With mounting lawsuits, no bail in sight, and a mountain of evidence piling up, it seems Mark doesn't even want to stick around to watch this ship sink. Diddy's inner circle is shrinking faster than a cheap sweater in hot water, and the legal setbacks just keep coming. With more people stepping up to testify and these devastating accusations weighing him down, Mark abandoning ship could be the final nail in Diddy's coffin. But wait, there's more. After more than 2 decades of loyal service, Natalie Moore, the PR powerhouse behind his public image, has just walked away from him. Moore, who was the head of communications for Diddy, has been by his side through countless projects and controversies. But now, with Diddy facing these serious federal charges, she had no choice but to quit, even leaving her contact information disconnected.
PR guru who has been with him for the last 20 years and helped him launch all of these different businesses, from the luxury clothes to the Ciroc, all of it quit.
According to our sources, and honey, they're close to the situation, her sudden exit isn't just about cutting ties. There's speculation she could be under legal scrutiny herself and might even be forced to testify in court. This situation left her with absolutely no other option. Diddy was her entire world. Our source reveals she will surely be deposed for this if she hasn't been already. And get this tea. Rumor has it her cell phone may have been seized, which could spell massive trouble for Diddy as investigators dig deeper into his inner circle. Natalie's departure isn't just another person jumping ship, it marks yet another major player distancing themselves from the embattled mogul, joining a growing list of former associates and insiders who are backing away faster than celebrities from a scandal. According to Shooter, Diddy was absolutely obsessed with fame and power, loving every flash of the camera, wanting everyone to know exactly who he was. This man wanted to be the party king of New York, and Shooter says it was like a circus with Diddy as the ringleader. All Diddy thought about was Diddy. Morning to night, Shooter claimed. The reason he was such a superstar is because all he thinks about is Diddy from the minute he wakes up until the minute he goes to bed. Diddy's hobby is Diddy. But get this, Diddy had this bizarre fascination with the British royal family. Shooter says Diddy wanted Princes Harry and William at his party so badly, he'd offer to cover their flights, hotels, even security. He even had framed pictures of them in his swanky New York City apartment, thinking of himself as a king who just needed some royal entourage. Word is, Harry and William never showed up though. Now, with all these allegations piling up like designer shoes in a closet, Diddy's own people are coming out of the woodwork, peeling back the curtain on his so-called empire. These aren't just rumors anymore, darling. These are folks who worked for him, people who saw firsthand the lengths he went to for fame. Seems like Diddy's world is unraveling faster than a cheap knockoff. And now, Diddy is scrambling to keep a lid on things. He's begging Judge Aaron Submaranian for a gag order to keep everyone, from accusers to witnesses and even lawyers, quiet. With lawsuits piling up against him like dirty dishes, he's desperate to stop the flood of accusations hitting the press, claiming it's wrecking his shot at a fair trial. And who's he blaming? Everyone! From the Department of Homeland Security to news outlets like CNN for so-called unauthorized leaks. His team even claims DHS strategically leaked a 2016 video of him attacking Cassie Ventura just to throw him under the bus. Talk about reaching.
For what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
Talk about his demeanor in jail and what it's been like.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to answer any more questions.
In one absolutely wild move, Combs' team flagged a New York Post article quoting a federal law enforcement source discussing Diddy's alleged offs. The judge himself had to step in, saying any leaks from government agents are plainly improper. But Judge Submaranian isn't buying Diddy's demand for a full gag order. Instead, he's telling both sides to follow the rules, reminding them they can't just throw grand jury info out there. Meanwhile, even more lawsuits keep popping up. One from Ashley Parham claims Diddy retaliated against her for mentioning Tupac's elimination, while another from John Doe alleges Diddy back in 1998 as part of a rite of passage. These stories are absolutely chilling, and it seems the harder Diddy tries to shut people up, the louder they get. With his reputation hanging by a thread and a trial set for May 2025, it's clear he's got a long, messy road ahead. And if there's one person who is not in Diddy's corner, it's got to be 50 Cent. These two have been clashing for years, but now with all the lawsuits and accusations piling up on Diddy, 50's turning up the heat. And honestly, can you blame him? This week alone, 6 new cases were dropped on Diddy, and he's facing serious charges for and racketeering. It's a full-blown mess, and 50's been calling Diddy out for a minute now.
Are you being serious right now? Like, is this for real? This man 50 Cent is releasing a docu-series on Netflix. This whole time, I thought this man was joking. I thought he was capping. So the tweet says, I've been telling y'all about this weird-ish. I don't do no puffy parties. You didn't believe me, but I bet you believe me now.
He's been exposing Diddy's so-called off parties, saying, yo, I've been stepping away from that kind of stuff the entire time. That's just not my style. While Hollywood seemed to let Diddy run absolutely wild, 50 was out here dodging him like the plague. He wasn't getting caught up in that mess no matter how much clout Diddy had or how much the elite wanted him around. In an interview with People, 50 spilled the hottest tea. He said, look, it seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really just me saying what I've been saying for 10 years now. It's becoming more full-facing in the news with the puffy stuff, but away from that, I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time. And here's the real tea, honey. While Diddy was out here doing whatever he wanted, thinking he was untouchable, it was really about keeping Hollywood entertained. That's the UGLY truth. They were happy to look the other way because Diddy was supplying those wild parties and connections. Meanwhile, 50 was like, no, I'm not with that. He's always kept it real, saying, I also didn't go to those parties, so a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree. I'm just not with all that freaky stuff. Like all of that stuff he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. And honestly, you've got to respect 50 for sticking to his guns while everyone else was caught up in Diddy's chaos. That's all for today. If you like that video, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this. More videos like this. More videos.